name is Miss Caldwell, and I'm a student from Iowa State, and I am studying to become a teacher, so today I have a lesson planned for you. Can each of you tell me your name?
My name's Anna.
I'm Bailey.
Hi, nice to meet you. Alright, well first we're going to start by singing the Itsy Bitsy Spider song. Do you both know that?
Yeah.
Okay, well let's sing that and act it out together. The Itsy Bitsy Spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain, washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider climbed up the spout again. Good job. Okay, so can you tell me two different things that happened to the spider in the story, or two things that happened?
He went up
the spout. And what else?
It washed him out.
It washed him out. Good job. Those are called major events or main events in a story, and that's one thing that makes up a story. And today we're going to be learning about the different parts of a story, because every story needs a couple of different things to make it complete. So first of all, a story needs characters, and this is the word characters right here, so you can see how to spell it, and these are examples of characters. Characters can be people, monsters, creatures, animals. So do you know who this is?
Yeah.
Mike Wazowski. And then there is a little boy and a little girl, and this is an example of a dog. So if something is alive, then it can be a character, and characters are the things that act out the story. Another part of a story is the setting, and the setting is where a story takes place. So these are some examples. We have a beach, a playground, and then this is a forest, and there's some snow. So it's just where the characters live or where they are going. Do you guys have any more examples of where a story could take place?
A house.
A house?
At school.
At school. Very good. And then the other part of a story is the main events, which we kind of already touched on. And the main events are the major parts of the story and the things that are very important. So we have a star and then a spotlight, because they're the things that you need to pay attention to. Alright, so now we're going to act out a story together. So would you mind helping me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be the narrator, and so if you guys could stand up and just come over here. Alright, we have two characters in this story, and one of them is named Jack, so would
I'll be
you like
Jack.
to be Jack? And then another one is Jack's mom.
Oh, I'll be the mom.
Okay, I'm going to start reading it, and I'll give you some cues, and you can just act out the story. It's really simple. Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Jack. His mom took him to the pumpkin patch to pick out a pumpkin that he was going to carve for Halloween. Jack walked through a field with pumpkins. It was very hard to walk because there were so many vines and pumpkins. After walking around for a while, Jack found the perfect pumpkin. It was bright orange and perfectly round. He ran back to his mom and said, "Mom, I want to take this pumpkin home."
Mom, I want to take this pumpkin home.
While pointing to the perfect pumpkin. His mom cut the pumpkin off the vine, and Jack picked the pumpkin up. It was heavy. He carried it back to the car, very excited to get home and carve his pumpkin. Great job. Thanks for helping me tell the story, and you can return to your seats now. Now we're going to think of some of the different parts of this story that we just talked about. So who can tell me who the characters in the story were? And remember, the characters are the people in the story.
Jack. And Jack's mom.
Jack's mom. Good job. And who can tell me the setting is? And the setting is where the story takes place. So do you know where Jack and his mom were?
Pumpkin patch.
Pumpkin patch. Good job. And now this part's a little bit harder. Who can tell me what the major events in the story are? So let's start at the beginning. What happened at the very first part?
He walked through the pumpkin patch.
He walked through the pumpkin patch. Good job. And what happened in the middle of the story?
He found a pumpkin and walked.
He found a pumpkin. Good. And what happened at the end?
His mom cut off the pumpkin and he carried it back to the car.
Good job. So then he had his pumpkin. Good job. So now we're going to do a little bit of practice on our own. And I have these baggies, and so we're going to use these in just a little bit. I'm going to read a story, and it's called The Foolish Tortoise, and it's by Richard Buckley and illustrated by Eric Carle. Have you ever read some of these books?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so let's read this together. The Foolish Tortoise. A tortoise, tired of being slow, impatient to get up and go, took off his large and heavy shell and left it lying where it fell. "Hooray, he cried, now I've been freed. I'll see the world at double speed. Though faster, he was not express, and his protection was far less. So when he heard a hornet's drone, the tortoise crept beneath a stone. A hungry bird came swooping past. He looked so fierce and flew so fast. The tortoise hid behind some trees and felt quite weak behind the knees. I don't feel safe, there's too much risk. If only I could be more brisk. He headed for the riverbed. A fish swam up, the tortoise fled. Along his way, our hero went and almost had an accident. A snake with open jaws slid near. The tortoise backed away in fear. A hare, a hound, a horse raced by, so rapidly they seemed to fly. The tortoise gasped, sat goggle-eyed. I'll never be that quick, he sighed. The wind rose up, and soon the breeze was bending branches in the trees. The tortoise shivered. Now I'm cold. I wish I hadn't been so bold. I think I've lost the urge to roam. I think it's time that I went home. Without my shell, I don't feel right. So when his shell came into sight, he climbed back in and said goodnight. Alright, did you guys like that story?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so now if you could take your pictures out of your bag, you are going to do a little activity. We are going to determine the parts of the story, so just lay them out so you can see all the pictures clearly. I'm just going to ask you a couple questions. Okay, so who can find, well actually we're going to do this on our own, so just hold the pictures up towards me. Who can find the main character? Good job, both of you got it right. And then who can find a picture that looks kind of like the setting where the tortoise was walking? Very good. And then who can find two pictures that kind of look like main events that happened in the story? Good job, you both have different ones. So what does your picture represent? Do you remember?
This is the rain.
It started raining in the story. Good job. And do you know what your picture represents?
It's his shell, his house.
Right, he took his shell off in the very beginning of the story. So good job. I think you guys understand the different parts of the story pretty well. And now we are going to read a book. And afterwards, you're each going to meet with me, and we're going to talk about the different parts of the story. But don't be too nervous. It's going to be okay, and I can help you if you have a question. So I'm going to read this book, and make sure you pay attention to the characters, the setting, and a couple of things that happen. This book is called Bear Once More. When springtime comes in his warm winter den, a bear wakes up very hungry and thin. He waddles outside and roots all around. He digs and he paws fresh shoots from the ground. He nibbles on his lawn till the last blade is gone, but the bear wants more. Mouse scampers by with his acorn pal. Come along, Mouse squeals, to Strawberry Vale. So up Mouse hops onto Bear's big back. They tromp through the woods for a fresh fruit snack. The berries grow sweet, and they eat, but the bear wants more. The noon sun glows when along hops Hare. Good day, friend Mouse. How do, friend Bear? I'm hungry, roars Bear. Hare says, follow me. There's a fresh clover patch by the cottonwood tree. They nibble on their lunch with a crunch, 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 but the bear wants more. Badger shuffles by with his new fishing pole. There's a fine fish feast at the old fishing hole. They head to the pond and they sit by the shore. Bear catches fish, but he still wants more. Meanwhile, back at the big bear's den, wait Gopher and Mole with Raven and Wren. They bake honey cakes, they decorate the lair. It's a springtime party for their good friend Bear. Bear rubs his tummy. He smells something yummy, and he still wants more. Bear sniffs and he snuffles as the sweet breeze blows. He romps to his home. He follows his nose. His friends yell, surprise, when he gets to his den, but Bear is so big that he can't fit in. Bear wails, what luck, I am stuck, stuck, stuck.